Hey everybody, this is Joseph Vogely of Stoegele Films. I am the co-writer, the director, and the creator of the new slasher sensation Specimen 6, which will come out in DVD June 2020. And welcome to Stoegele Films Reviews. This week we're focusing on B movies and our love of B movies, be them good, be them bad, be them in between. And today I am talking about another Asylum film. I've talked about several other Asylum films. I watch them, fairly often, and I have over the years. And some of my favorite are the Mega Shark films. And I just talked about the other day Mega Python versus Gatoroid, which had Tiffany and Debbie Gibson. I really enjoy that. And today I am talking about a Mega Shark film. There's several Mega Shark movies in this series, and they're all kind of loosely connected as they all take place in the same world, and sometimes they have a same character from one of the other movies. And this week I'm talking about Mega Shark versus Colossus. This is a film that's been on my list to watch for a while now, and I finally got around to watching it because I got a lot of downtime right now. And this is an interesting film in a few different ways. It was made in 2015. I'll read you just the short little synopsis real quick of what it is about, and then I'll kind of go into it. In search of a new energy source, which they call like red mercury in the film, Russia accidentally reawakens the Colossus, a giant robot doomsday device from the Cold War. At the same time, a new mega shark appears, threatening global security. So the mega sharks in this film franchise have seemed to really cause a lot of like world problems. They're constantly like eating ships and then jumping out into land and jumping up into the air and grabbing planes and doing all sorts of stuff like that. And so this is several years later, and the world governments, are still dealing with these megalodons, as it were. And this one's pretty interesting. So at the time, there was some anime films called Attack on Titan, and then other films, sci-fi films, started trying to cash in on this like giant monster thing. And they're not exactly like Godzilla kaiju sort of things. They look like big people, but with all these veins and everything. And they seem to have done that in this film as far as the general design of the Colossus. So the film starts out with this group of CIA agents infiltrating these bad guy Russian people who are trying to sell them the red mercury, which is this amazing energy source. And it turns out that they end up awakening this Colossus being, which was a throwback from the Soviet Cold War, this doomsday device, and somehow they awaken it and it comes out, and the CIA agents have to go and find the creator of this Colossus to try to figure out how to stop it. While all that's going on, over in the States, there is this character that's played by Ileana Douglas, who's really well known for Stir of Echoes, which she's excellent in. And she's done a bunch of other TV and movies over the years, Happy Texas, etc. And she's very good generally, and she's okay in this. She delivers as far as like a B movie goes and everything. My faults as far as this film goes is the story gets a little bogged down in all the minutia. They're trying too many different subplots. So it gets a little tedious at moments. Ileana Douglas plays a scientist who's trying to help Mega Shark at the same time as stop Mega Shark. I don't quite understand. See, that's why it gets a little bogged down. There's another scientist who's kind of a dick, who's trying to basically have the same goal as her, but with different ways of doing it, and so they're butting heads. And then there's this rich billionaire type who's kind of like this Tony Stark character, and you think he's like kind of a good guy, and he's going out trying to help the world stop Mega Shark. And it turns out that he's not that great of a guy later on, and he wants to take over the Colossus and rule the world that way and stop Mega Shark that way. Now, see, there is a lot of cool things that happen with the Colossus. So when it is going around the place as this giant robot, he ends up taking control of it, the rich guy, with this like kind of VR technology thing. And he fights off the Mega Shark, and so you have Colossus fighting with the Mega Shark, and this like crazy beam shoots out and it slices the moon. I was really hoping that like the moon would split in half from the giant laser, because that would have been really cool, but they didn't. It just kind of slices into it a little bit. But overall, I would say I enjoyed the film. It was not my favorite of the Mega Shark films. There's much better ones, and I'm going to read off a couple of them because I don't know if I would say go out and watch Mega Shark versus Colossus. It's kind of worth it. Go on Tubi because that's that really cool streaming channel I've talked about. You can get it on PS4 and on the internet and on your phone and things like that. And there's all these different movies and TV shows you can stream. And a lot of them are the Asylum films. So I would go to Tubi and check out because they have a whole bunch of the Asylum films. But the better ones that I would really like recommend as far as those go would be Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, which is one of the first ones to start it all out. I really enjoyed that film. I really enjoyed Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark. I highly recommend that one. And Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus, which is a direct follow-up to Mega Python versus... well, no, it's not a direct, but there's one called Mega Shark versus... Gatoroid, which I talked about. Well, this one is different. It's not in the same world, but it does have Debbie Gibson in it playing another scientist that's trying to stop Mega Shark, etc., etc. And so I highly recommend all those kind of over this one, though this one was it was kind of a fun watch anyway if you kind of want to kill an hour and a half and see. I mean, there's a pretty good little story in there and some cool science fiction elements such as the Red Mercury and the Colossus monster itself. There's this area scene in the movie where they go to find the scientist that created Colossus, and he's kind of in seclusion and he wants to die and everything like that. And this like back road, it must be somewhere in LA that they shot this. I've actually seen that in other ones, in other movies, Asylum films, but in other B movies as well. If you've seen The Quick and the Undead, they use that same little strip is kind of up against these like hillside and these like little storefronts on the side anyway. So it's kind of cool when you start to notice little things like that when you watch a lot of B movies. You start to notice that a lot of these lots are kind of used over and over and over in different ways. So anyway, that's all I have to say about Mega Shark versus Colossus. It's an enjoyable film, but I had two other things I wanted to do today, and I wanted to review two more hot sauces. So I figured while I have you here, I'll try these out and I'll tell you what I think. So this first one that I'm going to try is called Mustard. It's from Mustard and Company. It's made in Ballard, Washington in Seattle. And it just says hot sauce. It's, I guess, made in collaboration with Callahan's, our go-to line of hot sauces. This condiment is inspired by Caribbean-style hot sauces. So that's going to be pretty interesting. It looks pretty liquidy. It doesn't really look kind of thick. I have here my chicken nuggets, my go-to chicken nuggets, and it kind of pours out really quick here, so you got to be careful when you're pouring it. So I haven't tried this yet. It has a kind of cool mustard smell. So I'm going to eat it, and I'll tell you what I think. Oh, shit. It's not hot, but it's freaking delicious. You do get that little bit of a mustard, a little heat in the back there, but yeah, not bad. I'd put that on anything. I put that on chicken. I put that on pizza. I put that on everything. That's really good. I'm glad I bought that. It was only about $4 at the store at Safeway. Sorry, you don't have that. The next one they got at Safeway as well. It's gluten-free for those of you who are afraid of glutens. It's called Oh Brothers Organic. So it's organic, gluten-free, Chipotle habanero pepper sauce. So you can see here you got like a little like donkey, and he's got his mouth like all like that, and it's got a couple peppers in it and a little heat coming off of it. I don't know how hot this is going to be. I don't know what the Scoville is, so it might be interesting to have something like this. It kind of comes out nice and thick, so you really got to get it out there. So I got it all over there, as you can see. Nice dark color, nice and thick. Has that smoky chipotle sauce smell to it. And give it a shot. More kind of like a barbecue. Ooh, that's good. So it is smoky. It's got a little heat. It's not super hot. It builds up a little bit in the back there. I put that on everything. Yeah, I love that chipotle smoky. So usually I'm not that crazy about a habanero because it's usually too sweet. But you get some chipotle in there, it makes it kind of smoky. But then, yeah, that's got that good habanero spiciness. Oh, there's Callie. She's bugging me right now. Anyway, those are 2 good hot sauces. Definitely recommend those. I kind of recommend Mega Shark versus Colossus. I more like recommend the other Mega Shark films, any of the other Mega Shark films, really. This one I would just wait till last to watch. It's fun and there's some good science fiction in there. Anyhow, from Stoegele Films, I thank you very much for joining me, and we'll talk to you soon. I'll have another B movie coming up for you soon. All right, bye.